Boys and girls, today we're going to read one of my very favorite stories ever. This story, Alexander and the Wind-Up Mouse, is written by Leo Leone. He also wrote all of these books. He's one of my favorite authors. He's also the illustrator of these stories. Alexander and the Wind-Up Mouse is a fun story about two mouse friends. It starts kind of sad. Help! Help! A mouse! There was a scream and a crash, and cups and saucers and spoons went flying in all directions. Alexander ran for his hole as fast as his little legs would carry him. All Alexander wanted was just a few crumbs, and yet every time they saw him, they would scream for help and chase him with a broom. This is Alexander getting chased with a broom. Poor guy. One day, when no one was in the house, Alexander heard a squeak in Annie's room. He sneaked in, and what did he see? Another mouse! But not an ordinary mouse like himself. Instead of legs, it had two wheels on its back, and there was a key. "Who are you?" asked Alexander. "I am Willie the Wind-Up Mouse, Annie's favorite toy. They wind me to make me run around in circles, and they cuddle me, and at night I sleep on a soft white pillow between the doll and the woolly teddy bear. Everyone loves me." "Well, they don't care very much for me," said Alex. But he was happy to have found a new friend. "Hey, let's go down to the kitchen and look for crumbs." "Oh, I can't," said Willie. "I can only move when they wind me. But I don't mind. Everyone loves me." Alexander, too, came to love Willie. He went to visit him whenever he could. He told him of his adventures with brooms and flying plates and mouse traps, and Willie talked about the penguin and the woolly bear, and mostly about Annie. The two friends spent many happy hours together. I think they're best friends. What do you think?
Yeah, and I like you and you.
Like you and you. Good. But when he was alone in the dark of his hideout, Alexander thought of Willie with envy. "Oh," he sighed. "Why can't I be a wind-up mouse like Willie? And then I could be cuddled and loved." One day, Willie told a strange story. "I've heard," he whispered mysteriously, "that in the garden at the end of the pebble path close to the blackberry bush, there lives a magic lizard who can change one thing into another thing." "Do you mean," said Alex, "that he could change me into a wind-up mouse like you?" That very afternoon, Alexander went into the garden and ran to the end of the path. "Lizard, lizard," he whispered. Suddenly there stood before him, full of the colors of flowers and butterflies, a very large lizard. Look at him right there. "Is it true you can change me into a wind-up mouse?" asked Alexander. "When the moon is round," said the lizard, "bring me a purple pebble." For days and days, Alexander searched the garden for a purple pebble. In vain. He found yellow pebbles and blue ones and green ones, but not one tiny purple pebble. At last, tired and hungry, he returned to the house. In the corner of the pantry, he saw a box full of old toys, and there between the blocks and the broken dolls was Willie. "What happened?" said Alex. Willie told him a sad story. It had been Annie's birthday, and there had been a party, and everyone had brought a gift. The next day, Willie sighed, many of the old toys were dumped in this box. We're going to get thrown away. Oh, man. Alexander was almost in tears. Poor Willie, he thought. Suddenly, something caught his eye. Could it be? Yes, it was. It's a purple pebble, boys and girls. All excited, he ran into the garden with this precious stone right in his hands. There was a full moon. Out of breath, Alexander stopped near the blackberry bush. Lizard, lizard in the bush! The leaves rustled, and there stood the lizard. The moon is round, the pebble is found, said the lizard. Who or what do you wish to be? I want to be... And Alexander stopped. Then suddenly he said, Lizard, lizard, could you change Willie into a mouse like me? The lizard blinked, and there was a blinding flash of light. And then everything was quiet, and the pebble was gone. I know. Alexander ran back to the house as fast as he could. There he is running. The box was there, but it was empty. Too late, he thought, and with a heavy heart, he went to his hole in the baseboard. Something squeaked. Cautiously, Alexander moved closer and a little closer to the hole. There was a mouse inside. Who are you? Said Alexander. He was a little bit afraid. My name is Willie, said the mouse. Willie, cried Alexander. The lizard did it, boys and girls. Alexander hugged Willie, and they ran out to the garden, and they danced until dawn. And that is the end of this happy story, Alexander and the Wind-Up Mouse. Thumbs up if you like that story. I love this story. Thanks for listening.